Good morning, it's Harvey Jackson. Just going to get through a little bit of news here. A couple corn traders, Stonex and Lakefront Futures are putting out a little bit higher yields, and I'm following Lakefront as well. I'll share little tidbits of his information at times here. But anyway, we'll just have a look at some of the other news. India's kind of a little put aside here that Trump hasn't or did not follow through. They met like 5 times and still continue to move from the 15 to 25%. And you can see right here where the Indian government is at. They're not that happy about this. They thought they were going to be down in this range here, but they're a little put aside here, and they're going to be tariffs are going to be coming on. Palm oil retreats on profit taken ahead of the key data. There's some S&D coming out next week on the Malaysian palm oil, and they're anticipating some bigger supplies, of course. Dollar falls with the Russia squeeze that the government's putting on there. I think that's part of it as well, along with some poor data. Here's Darren Fester from Lakefront.
Look to sell at the board. We continue to buy puts, continue to sell calls. Selling the board at 405 yesterday, yet again. Buying 395 October puts, selling March 465 calls. We continue to do that one. We actually did that early yesterday morning and got that done for a 1 3/4 cent credit. But again, I still like those trades here with the trajectory lower, the price target of 395. Again, not very far away from here, but again, it's just the perception of what the USDA may do. Now, we ran again models last night. As you know, if you listen to Coffee with Alpha and even the Alpha Trade on Friday, last week we ran an estimated yield range. Last week it suggested 178 to 181. Now, last night we ran, and it could be because the last few days we didn't see a whole lot of rain. We've seen some really cooler temperatures, and it was suggesting a corn yield of 185. When we were taking into the NDVI data and saying, give me the yield just based on that, and no other factors, and it's 185. So it's relatively close to what Stonex is. I don't think we're that high, but again, I do think that USDA potential.
So there you have it. Even a couple different analysts that know running the data and coming out with higher yields. Yesterday, Stonex came out with higher yields on soybeans and corn, and the corn I think was at 188.1. So, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of other people talking about that. 10-day temperature forecast, and I think I have something to contradict this a little wee bit, but there you can see there's a heat build in some areas, and into a lot of the corn belt there too. Just here, there's still some smoke. I'll show you that here as well. It's still lingering in the area here, but it's actually cleared some, but it looks like it's going to wrap around and get us again. So here's the European model for the 8 to 14 day average precipitation anomaly. So you can see it's drier here, normal here kind of thing in white. And when you look at the artificial intelligence, is saying a lot of rain in the north, so maybe it'll put out some of those fires. But you got a little bit of a band in the corn belt. And when you look at the GFS, it all looks like underperforming with very little rain. So we'll have to see what actually comes about. I've got a 50% chance that a 3-day forecast is going to be correct. So, and I think that's even worse lately. So here's your temperature build, or your high temperatures. You can see that it's actually just kind of going from west east, and still add some higher temperatures come next week. Your active weather, you got some rolling around of some thunderstorms, and you've got this band going across some of the corn growing area. Just accumulated precipitation for the last 14 days. You can see there's a big brown spot there. No rain, but you can see the accumulation of rain is actually following the U.S. border and into Alberta for sure. So just a quick look at the oil seeds here and or the whole complex. Canola up from yesterday's, pulled back pretty hard. We're at 470. Rapeseed is still down a little wee bit. Soybean oil is up. Crude oil is up $1, and soybeans are up 2.75 cents, and your wheats are basically unchanged. And the Canadian dollar is up a little wee bit as well. You can see that we're actually at the 61.8 retracement value. You can see the range. Like if we were to get into this area, just get into around that 7.10. If we can get back up there, when you just look at this chart, you would say, oh, that should be a sale. But when we look at the seasonality, that is the trend. Here we are looking at rapeseed, and it's chopping around the lower end of the and between the 38.2 and the 23.6 retracement values, and the moving averages are all above it as well. When you look at soybean oil, you're at the top end of the move up, but looking to get a little bit of support at that 78.6 retracement value. And your palm oil, as mentioned yesterday, it had a big move. Today it's pulled back a little bit, and right at some of those long-term, the 200-day moving average, and some of those other short-term moving averages below this. Soybean futures, it just seems to be looking like it's going to get to that direction there. So you can get right down to that 670 possible numbers, but nobody wants to hear that, but that's what it looks like at this point when you just look at the chart. Your crude oil, it's down at the bottom end of this little bit of a channel here that we have, and the Canadian dollar, we're right at the 10-day moving average. Let's see if it's going to trade through there. And the US dollar has moved down a little bit from its looked like it was going to be a recovery to get to these values up here at the 101 area. Spring wheat, it's not even, it looks like just a stair step right down. No pause, just every day, just looking like it's just going to keep sliding forever, but it will stop eventually. You'll find some buyers down in here. And same thing with Kansas, it just keeps on making new lows. And Chicago wheat, and here's your corn futures that Darren Fessler was talking about, just trying to make new lower lows. And that's all I have for you. Again, crop report on the 12th, and that would be the one that's probably going to have a lot of eyes on, that's for sure.